Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy, the Do-Rag Demigod, aka New Zen. I wanted to give you guys my top 5 tips of escaping Iron and Bronze Elo. If any of this information ends up being useful to you, go ahead and leave a like, share, and subscribe, become a part of the Demi Squad. Outside of that, let's get into the tips.
Go dummy, Kyle.
I think the biggest tip that I could start off with is learning your role. I think people play outside their role a lot. I see a lot of controllers playing as duelists. I see a lot of sentinels pushing into sight, and I think that's where a lot of people are going wrong first. If everybody works together and works around the fact that they have a role, everybody comes out on top at the end. If the controllers block off the proper sites and the duelist goes in and engages in a 1v1 without them having to worry about them getting hit or opt from an awkward angle because they're smoked off, it allows the sentinels to come in, set up shop, and hold down sight. Now, does it work out perfectly every time? No, but having your sentinel go in and get baited by your duelist so they can get one extra kill at the end of the round doesn't help the team, because now you have all duelists trying to hold down a site. And yeah, it works out sometimes, but it would be so much more easier to be able to have your sentinels controlling the site, your controllers blocking off the awkward angles so you don't have to worry about getting opt from, and your duelist taking the engagement. If everybody learns their role from the jump, Iron and Bronze is a breeze from there. I think another important tip is knowing your character and their abilities. Knowing where to set up cipher traps, knowing where to set up tripwires is very important. Knowing that Sage can heal from a distance, you don't have to be all the way across the map. Knowing that Phoenix needs a certain amount of space between you and the wall so you will flash your enemies and not your teammates. Knowing that you have ultimate control over Phoenix's wall is important. You can pretty much block off multiple lines of sight if you know how to use his firewall correctly. Even with Jet's smoke has crazy control. You can literally smoke around a corner. So I think knowing those things first, going in, once you choose, all right, I'm gonna be a duelist, I'm gonna be a controller, I'm going to be X, Y, or Z, whatever you choose, knowing how to use those abilities effectively will get you out of Iron and Bronze easily. A tip that I recommend to anybody is just warming up. And I know as simple as it sounds, hear me out. So the warm-up that I want to show you guys is the warm-up that I normally do before I go into ranked, not unrated. If you've been playing unrated all day, ignore this. But I think the most important thing is, one of my favorite players, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, but one of my favorite players used to go into the gym and put up 500 shots before and after games. On off days, I couldn't even imagine how many shots he actually put up. But imagine the muscle memory he built in those clutch moments to be able to hit those threes. So I took that same method and basically made kind of a warm-up routine that's basically 500 bots. And what you do is, for the first 100 bots, you stand still and you have the bot stand still and you just knock down 100, focusing on the placement of your cursor, keeping it at head level, trying to figure out exactly where to place it to get those headshots. The second 100, you're gonna put the bots on strafe, but you're gonna continue to stay still, which is gonna basically work out you tracking it to the point and keeping your headshots crispy. From there, you're gonna wanna put the bots back on still, but you're gonna wanna move. And then finally, you're gonna wanna put the bots on strafe while you're strafing. Put 500 shots up, the last 100 is just freestyle. Whatever you felt like you were the weakest on at that moment of time for that day. Sometimes I'm popping off on the strafe, sometimes I am very sloppy on the strafes. So if I see that during when I'm trying to warm up, I just put it back on the strafe. So for me, this is the warm-up routine that I do most of the time before I go in there. And then I go into an unrated match to just make sure my game sense is on point. Tip number 4 is just simply to study. And I think with studying, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. Just paying attention to patch notes to know when certain characters get nerfed, when certain characters get buffed, knowing when certain guns get nerfed, when their accuracy is changed, knowing that Jets can't fly over you with a shotgun as accurately anymore gives you a little bit more time to adjust and be able to shoot her out the air. Knowing that Phoenix's curveball makes a different sound now when you're able to see, and Phoenix's curveball is able to go further. Knowing this type of information can make you a better duelist. So I just say pay attention to the patch notes. Outside of that, studying like recoil patterns of certain guns. I'm not going to go into it too much here, but just studying certain recoil patterns, even if you just simply look at the damage numbers. This is something I will be honest with you guys, I did not know until bronze. Knowing that the Phantom is a little bit weaker at distance than the Vandal, but the Vandal has a little bit less accuracy overall. Knowing those things about building your kit is super important, and I wouldn't look over. So just make sure you study and keep up on everything that changes in the game. My last and final tip is to know your kit. Economy is super important in this game. And so with the economy being so important, I have 3 set loadouts, 3 set kits. I have my pistol round, which is 1 trap wire, 1 cyber cage, and a ghost. I know for a fact I'm running that on gun round or pistol round every single time. If I'm going on an eco round, it's going to be the Spectra. It's going to be 2 trap wires, a cyber cage, and a light shield. That's what I'm going in with. I need 2 trap wires to be able to make sure I protect our flanks. So that is important to me as a sentinel. Outside of that, we're going with a full buy. A full buy is kind of obvious, but just knowing what you get. Just know what you need as soon as it's time to full buy. Vandal, 2 cages, full shield, something on the hip. Most of the time I don't even put a gun on the hip, but I know a lot of people who do. So knowing your kit is very important to your economy, and your economy is very important to winning the game. Yo, I wanted to start off by saying thank you for making it to the end of the video. If any of these tips were even somewhat useful to you, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Outside of that, it is my first tutorial video, so there will be room for improvement. If you have any tips for other iron or bronze, or if you're a platinum, gold, or whatever, and you have tips, put them in the comment section. I kind of want the Demi Squad to grow and kind of give each other tips. I want everybody to be radiant out here, but go ahead and give your tips in the comment section below. I'll be in there conversating with you guys. Outside of that, stay safe, stay healthy as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video.